And then I took a plane to Tokyo and hitched rides to Sasebo.
Well, that's still Japan. How'd you get across the strait?
I bribed a warrant officer.
Oh? And from Busan?
I stole this Red Cross uniform from a supply depot.
You hurt?
No. Are you all right?
Yeah. I'm a poor target.
I better get out of here.
Sir, Colonel Chambers was my CO, so I went down to Wangsu myself to supervise his personal effects.
It wasn't on the 32B report, but was there a notebook in his blouse? You know, the kind that would fit inside his breast pocket?
No, sir.
How about a fountain pen?
No, sir.
Did he own a fountain pen?
Probably. You'd have to look through his personal effects.
Are they still here in Seoul?
I believe so, sir.
But Colonel Chambers was buried in Wangsu, is that right?
They shipped his body down here before the Reds took over. General Bailey's ordered.
I understand the colonel was a widower. His wife had died just recently?
Used to talk about her a great deal.
Sergeant, what color were Colonel Chambers' eyes?
They were brown.
Sergeant, I'd like to see his things, if I may.
Captain, we're in the middle of evacuating a post.
I know that, but a man's life could depend on this, Sergeant.
All right, come on. I want you to burn all the classified papers in the cans.
Did he have another watch? PX variety stainless steel?
No, sir. It's the only watch he ever wore.
And this was his wedding ring, huh?
Yes, sir. He had a sentimental streak. He never took off that ring.
You're sure that this is all he had on him?
Yes, sir, I'm sure.
Well, no notebook, Mrs. Ryker. Not an inexpensive PX watch, but a solid gold one, custom made. Not a blue fountain pen, but a maroon one. An expensive and somewhat unusual wedding band, which he always wore when your husband said no ring.
rings.
And the colonel's eyes were brown.
General Bailey!
Those reports are all duplicates. No use transporting them. Have them burned. Captain.
Young, sir. Major Whitaker Stott.
Yeah, how's it happen that you're... Now, what's going on here?
General Bailey, Mrs. Ryker.
Madam. Well, Captain?
Well, sir, we were going through Colonel Chambers' effects. I thought it possible that something might have been overlooked, something significant.
Significant? With regard to what?
Sergeant Ryker, sir.
Who ordered this?
My own responsibility, sir.
Responsibility? This Ryker's a traitor, isn't he?
Well, he's been condemned to death, sir.
Well, for your information, Captain, there are several thousand men out there who are not traitors, who are doing their best to evacuate this city. There is an army out there which is being driven back into the ocean. Now, do I understand that you feel a sense of responsibility to a man who has done his best to bring this about?
Sir, I'm sure the General doesn't have time to discuss this now. I'm sorry if...
Sergeant, pack up that stuff. Have it put on one of the evacuation trucks. And you'd better get yourself and Mrs. Ryker back to your base at Incheon. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. There's still one more thing I want to check out. Since we're here, and since the General didn't specify when we were to leave, if Colonel Chambers ever did write a note about Ryker, there's only one place left to look. The only place where it might possibly have been overlooked. On his body, in his uniform.
Oh, now, Captain.
Can you locate the grave?
Sir, General Bailey ain't a man to fool with. He's as tough as an alligator steak. I mean, he'd court-martial me just as soon as blow up a commie tank. And on top of that, sir, if you don't mind my saying so, he could nail you for direct disobedience to a command. And don't think he wouldn't do it. So you see, Captain Young, unless you come right out with it, give me a direct order, sir.